Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with my last video of the day. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can look me up at my website, which is www.garethcahoon.co.uk. Or if you'd like to support the ministry, you can do so through garethcahoon3@gmail.com on PayPal. This one is White House advisors prefer Israel strike Iran first for domestic political reasons, a report has found. Secretary Rubio warns about Iranian threat to US, says failure to discuss ballistic missiles a big problem. Senior White House advisors prefer that Israel leads strikes on Iran, with the US only getting involved after Iran responds, Politico reported on Wednesday. The advisors are said to prefer an Israeli initiative due to the domestic political response. They believe that the American populace would be more supportive of the US military action in Iran if the American forces or an ally were struck first. Politico cited a recent poll conducted in the US which showed American voters favour regime change in Iran but are not willing to risk any US soldiers to accomplish such a feat. One of the anonymous sources who was involved in the White House discussions told Politico they're thinking in and around the administration that the politics are a lot better if the Israelis go first and alone and the Iranians retaliate against us and give us more reason to take action. While the US and Iran are due to host a third round of negotiations in Geneva on Thursday, the White House does not expect the Iranians to make any meaningful concessions, according to recent reports. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi arrived in Geneva on Wednesday ahead of the third round of negotiations. Meanwhile, US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who will represent the American side along with Trump advisor Jared Kushner, recently said the deal cannot include any sunset clauses regarding Iran's nuclear program. We start with the Iranians with the premise that there is no sunset provision, whether we get a deal or not. Our premise is you have to behave for the rest of your lives, Witkoff reportedly said at the AIPAC event in Washington earlier this week. Vice President J.D. Vance, who is reported to oppose US military action in Iran, said that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. The principle is very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, Vance told reporters on Wednesday. If they try to rebuild a nuclear weapon, that causes problems for us. In fact, we've seen evidence that they have tried to do exactly that. Meanwhile, Iran has continued to resist US efforts to expand the negotiations beyond the nuclear program. However, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned on Wednesday that the Islamic Republic remains a very grave threat for the US and its allies. Speaking in the Caribbean island nation of St. Kitts and Nevis, Secretary Rubio said, I want everyone to know that Iran poses a very grave threat to the United States and has for a very long time. Rubio also addressed Iran's nuclear program, noting that the regime has been trying to rehabilitate its facilities. First and foremost, after the nuclear program was obliterated, they were told not to try to restart it, and they are. You see them always trying to rebuild elements of it. They're not enriching right now, but they're trying to get to the point where they ultimately can, he stated. The other thing I would point you to, however, is that Iran poses a very large number of ballistic missiles, particularly short-range ballistic missiles, that threaten the United States and our bases in the region and our partners in the region and all of our bases in the UAE, in Qatar, in Bahrain. And they also possess naval assets that threaten shipping and try to threaten the US Navy, Rubio also pointed out. Secretary Rubio said that Iran refuses to talk about ballistic missiles, stating that's a big problem. So I want everybody to understand that beyond just a nuclear program, they possess these these conventional weapons that are solely designed to attack America and attack Americans. If they so choose to do so, he added, we will act. So this is America, the big, bold America wanting little Israel to attack first. They should be ashamed of themselves. And Trump, it was you that made the promise to the Iranian people. You said, don't worry, we're coming. Well, are you coming or are you going? Don't let Israel be the fall guy when it was you who stated in the first place that you were going to act and act severely if Iran chose to pursue nuclear weapons, which she is so clearly doing. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.